Hotep Sinuhena Senuti Tiren Ishaka Nugukemet. I hope you're doing well. I'm waiting for the sound to make sure you can hear me loud and clear. Yes, lovely. The title of this video is Canaan's children shall be born ugly and black. Oh my goodness. We might as well go straight to the nitty gritty. I'm going to share my screen. Ever since the basketball player Kyrie has shared the link to a documentary claiming that black people are Hebrew Israelites or original Jews. Um, a lot of black Hebrew Israelites were happy, feeling like somebody was representing for their cause or their beliefs. And unfortunately, he apologized, just like Nick Canaan apologized, just like Kanye West apologized as well. So now they are on survival mode now. They're trying by all means to prove that they are indeed original Jews or Hebrews or what have you. And here we're going to have an example. Now, this is Zion Lex. He's known in the so-called conscious community. He has appeared on different channels, different platforms, some of them quite large. Some of you might have heard about Tasha K, who was ordered to pay millions to Cardi B. He appeared on Tasha K. He appeared on Saneta's platform as well. As a matter of fact, he participated in the documentary Hebrews to Negroes, or whatever the title is. So you can see that he posted this 3 days ago. Okay. And he wrote an ancient midrash from the oral tradition, accepted by all Jews around the world as an authentic and meritable source, describes Shem, Semites, as a black. Then we have Mike and the emoji of a mic. So I don't know if he means mic drop. And he added, y'all don't want to get me started. No one's going to go deeper in the bag. Now it's supposed to be THAN, but it's okay. Then someone who's had their hands in it much longer. And here it says, Pirkei de Rabbi Eliezer, might have mispronounced it. And he says here, he blessed Shem, black and desirable. He blessed Ham, black like the raven. And he blessed Japhet, white. Then here, now it is probably the part in Hebrew that is translated here. And then he says, now he posted this, for those who don't know, that's his own YouTube channel. That's the community, for those who know. You need to have probably 1,000 subscribers to be able to share messages on the community, which means that your subscribers are supposed to see that in their feed, whatever is posted in the community. But anyway, a midrash on the complexion of the three sons of Noah. So here we have Shem, and he's clearly black skinned. Then we have Ham, who is also black skinned. And then we have Japhet, who is white skinned. So some people still believe in 2022 that a man had sons with different ethnicities. We are supposed to believe that Noah had children with different ethnicities. Okay, it's not a big deal. Now, mind you, 222 likes. You know what's funny? There will be a footnote for a book, and the footnote is actually 222. What a coincidence. First thing, remember, we are told about an ancient midrash from the oral tradition, accepted by all Jews around the world as an authentic and meritable source. All right? So, what is a midrash? Let's have a look together, brothers and sisters. Encyclopedia Britannica. I'm going to share the link in the chat. Boom. Shared. Midrash, Judaism. Midrash, Hebrew. Midrash, exposition, investigation. Plural, midrashim, a mode of biblical interpretation prominent in the Talmudic literature. The term is also used to refer to a separate body of commentaries on scripture that use this interpretive mode. See Talmud and Midrash. All right. Now, for those who don't know what the Talmud is, the Hebrew term Talmud, study or learning, commonly refers to a compilation of ancient teachings regarded as sacred and normative by Jews from the time it was compiled until modern times, and still so regarded by traditional religious Jews. In its broadest sense, the Talmud is a set of books consisting of the Mishnah, repeated study, the Gemara, completion, and certain auxiliary materials. All right. So now that we know that we're dealing with some meritable source, and that the Talmud is a compilation of ancient teachings regarded as sacred by normative Jews, let's deal with this article here. I'll share this link in the chat. It's my article about the curse of Ham, which was updated just today. And you will see why. We have 9 people online. How many likes do we have? Only 2 likes. All right. I'm gonna wait till there are more likes because it's not a good look. So whether you like me or dislike me, if you want to hear what I have to share, you might as well just hit that like button. It will not cost you any money. It will not make you tired. It's just a click of a button. So if you want me to, there you go, one more. We have 3, but we'll have 9 people online. So if at least we can have half of the people who are online. Some people are hating crazy. They're not gonna hit that like button. But if you just hate a little bit, then you're all good. So okay, I'm waiting. It's okay. It's gonna be more people will come in. It's all good. It's all good. I'm not in a rush, so. But I can tell you, it's a fail for the Black Hebrew Israelites. It's a huge fail. It's a horrible fail. I forgot to say that Zion Lex was crushed by our brother Chris Harris MVP. But hey, so people are so lazy that they're not gonna hit that like button. We have 3 likes only. How many people we have? Oh, we only have 6 people now. Other people bounce. Some people prefer bouncing rather than hitting that like button. It's good. It's good. There's no obligation. Nobody's forced. Well, we have half now. So I'm gonna, okay, four. There it is. That's good. Now let's continue. So share screen. All right. So that's the article about the curse of Ham. I wrote it years ago. But this is the edition when you go at the bottom of the page. See, November 2022 add-on. Quote from the book Hebrew Myth, the Book of Genesis by Robert Graves and Raphael Patai. You have the ISBN number, and we're going to deal with chapter 21 entitled Noah's Drunkenness. Oh, yes, this is the book cover, and this is the quote. You see here, footnote 2022, but we'll have a look later on. E. Is it large enough? Yes, it is. Others say that Ham himself unmanned Noah, who, awakening from his drunken sleep and understanding what had been done to him, cried, "Now I cannot beget the fourth son, whose children I would have ordered to serve you and your brothers. Therefore it must be Canaan, your firstborn, whom they enslave. And since you have disabled me from doing ugly things in the blackness of night, Canaan's children shall be born ugly and black. Moreover, because you twisted your head around to see my nakedness, your grandchildren's hair shall be twisted into kinks, and their eyes red again, because your lips jested at my misfortune. They shall swear, because you neglected my nakedness. They shall go naked, and their male members shall be shamefully elongated. Men of this race are called Negroes. The title of the documentary is Hebrews to Negroes, isn't it? Their forefather Canaan commanded them to love theft and fornication, to be banded together in hatred of their masters, and never to tell the truth. And here we have footnote 2022. And when we look at this footnote, we have B, Sanhedrin. What is Sanhedrin? I might not pronounce it properly, but here I'm going to share the link in the chat. This is Wikipedia for whatever it's worth. Sanhedrin is one of the tractates of Seder Nezikin, a section of the Talmud that deals with damages, i.e., civil and criminal proceedings. It originally formed one tractate with Makot, and you can see that Makot is a tractate of the Mishnah and Talmud, which also deals with criminal law. The Gemara, and the Gemara is a component of the Talmud, comprising rabbinical analysis, blah, 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 of the tractate, is noteworthy as precursors to the development of common law principles. For example, the presumption of innocence and the rule that a criminal conviction requires concurrence of 12. So, from the same Talmudic literature that Zionex has quoted to claim blackness of Ham and Shem, that same body of work, that same literature says that Canaan, Canaan's children shall be born ugly and black. Isn't that something? We have black men who are happy to claim this school of thought, this belief system. So black Muslims have their version, or some teaching that says that we are basically cursed, disfigured, and black Hebrew Israelites also have their version. Now, for those who wonder about the black Muslims version, here it is.
So Shabazz was not permitted to stay in that area, so he took his family into the jungle of East Asia, which we now call Africa, to make a people close to nature. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, this is the origin of kinky hair, because we didn't have kinky hair prior to that. The hair on our head was like the hair on our eyebrows. The hair on your eyebrows straight, the hair on your head is not the same as the hair on your eyebrow. But the hair of every other people is the same as their eyebrow. Your eyebrow straight, your hair something different. Wouldn't you like the hair on your head to be as straight as the hair on your eyebrow? That's why you so busy frying it. That's why you so busy pulling it. Because your nature tells you that the kink I mean, you know, with I'm black and I'm proud, we got to learn to be proud of kinks. Because most of your family of other black people on the earth, jet black. They didn't have no broad nose and thick lips and kinky hair. They were dark-skinned people, jet black. But they had straight hair, a thinner lip, a thinner nose. But we are marked as a different kind of black person. And we were rejected and despised, not only from the circle of the gods, but we were despised and rejected by all the other dark people of the earth. This is why today black people with kinky hair and broad nose and thick lips are rejected in every society. I want you to hear me well tonight. Yes, sir. Why are we rejected? Because the essence of beauty is in obedience and submission to God. And the essence of ugliness is when you rebel against God. And when you rebel against God, in your rebellion, you are marked with a certain mark of your rebellion, which is the disfigurement of your internal self, which manifests in the disfigurement of your external self. And this is why when you look at our people, wherever we are found on the earth, you find us either disfiguring ourselves physically because we are disfigured on the inside because of rebellion. Go ahead.
Comes from the horse's mouth. The leader of the organization said it himself. That's what's hot in the street. That's what's popping in the street. Now, something else I want to show you. There's this YouTube channel, popular, 210,000 subscribers, successful channel. I've seen a few videos because he shows many different African countries, and you know, it's nice. I don't know what his religion is, but he has shared this video right there. I don't know if it's large enough. Yes. And the full title is Zimbabwe, the original Jews, their existence, how they were forced into Christianity. That's the full title. Christianity is not appearing because there's not enough space here. And he has another one there, which says a historian in Black Jewish culture tells the truth and reveals findings. You see, it's 9 minutes, almost 10 minutes long, 9:51 minutes. So, what I will do, just for the record, we're going to listen to this historian in Black Jewish culture. All right, that's the one there. Oh, I thought I had the stuff ready. Uh, what happened? I thought I had the part ready. Um, okay, I'm going to unshare because I just want to play the part where we hear the historian, which is apparently is called Dr. Tudor. So not checking his credentials. Just wanted to hear what his state is. 2 minutes. Well, actually, it was prepared. So all right. So now I can share.
But listen to this video, and I'll be back.
A first book on the number, I finished up on 20 minutes, 60 minutes. And, it was on the front page of the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal, all over the place. Fantastic, incredible publicity. Why? Why is it, I thought, that Black Jews are so deeply troubling to somehow to Western sensibilities? It really puzzled me for a long time. And it was interesting, it was fascinating to see that Enlightenment scholars at the end of the 18th century were equally puzzled. And the reason that they were puzzled, why were they puzzled? They were puzzled because they didn't know how they became Black. So why then, all of a sudden, do the people that we're all interested in this group, everybody here is interested in the question of Jews, as we say, of color, throughout the world. I mean, that's one of these are the groups, Kulanu and me, we've been very interested in. At the end of the 18th century and for the first half of the 19th century, Jews of color were not marginal. They were mainstream preoccupations of people. That's something which I'm the first person to point out. It was interesting for racial theorists, number of reasons. One of the reasons is that you've got, for the first time, the idea that Jews are multicolored, right? And so that in itself is kind of interesting. But the underlying thing is the proof that this provides to the monogenists. And they took up the cause of all of the Black, brown, Jewish communities throughout the world, like it was the most fabulous thing that they could imagine in support of their own ideas. And they would spend their times traveling the world and looking for new Black Jewish communities, and they could bring these back and feed them into the racial kind of machine, the groups. All of these kind of Black Jewish groups, brown, they were all kind of dragooned as part of the holy crusade of proving the unified origins of mankind. What a noble thing that turned out to be. And of course, with Darwin, that pretty much marks the end of polygenism, except that even today there are genetic scientists who fiddle around with the proof in such a way that it looks as if there are races and that they're kind of significantly different from each other, but it really is not the case.
So should we go to the question about conflation? What does conflation mean? Were there different kinds of conflation of Jews and blacks over time? Or should we go to the question of looking at your slides?
Well, let me quickly just deal, because the conflation is in the title of my book. And I think just to say what I mean by it would be a good introduction, really, to the slides. And Bonnie sort of mentioned very kindly a chapter in that 2013 book. And there was nothing original about that. There's a great scholar by the name of Sander Gilman, who really is the father of all studies.
As a photographer, I'm always shooting BTS on my phone to share on social media.
The perceptions of the body of the Jew. He's an extraordinary scholar, and I owe a huge amount to everything that he's written, and I admire him enormously. And so, a long time ago, he wrote that there was a kind of medieval perception that Jews were black, and there's plenty of proof that within Europe, the Jews were considered to be kind of black. There are many images of Jews being black, and even if they weren't black, they were not even slightly black. They were kind of considered to be black in one way or another. So blackness and Jews really went hand in hand. If you read his work, or if you read my work, and particularly if you read this new book, you will see the multitude of examples of it. And if you go, for instance, into the marginalia, the illustrations in English or European prayer books in the 13th and 14th centuries, you frequently see hook-nosed Jews wearing Jewish hats and with black faces. So the idea that Jews were black was definitely there, before the Enlightenment period. And
so let's go to the slides now.
Just a sec, because I just need to say, in the 19th century, the idea of Jewish blackness was reinforced by the discovery of all of these actual black Jews in India and Africa, all over the place. And by 1850, the main racial theorists of the day started saying that, yes, actually, Jews are Negroes. Negroes, in some way, are also Jews. This is the conflation. It's partly political, it's partly metaphorical, and it's very, very significantly biological.
So what do you think? Now, let me
All right, so that's the excerpt that he played. What did we get from what we heard? The scholars at the end of the 18th century were puzzled because they didn't know how they became black, and he's talking about the Jews. He mentioned Jews of color throughout the world. He mentioned for the first time the idea that Jews were multicolored. He talked about the medieval perception that Jews were black, that Jews were considered kind of black, that we have depictions of Jews with hook nose and black faces. In the 19th century, the idea of Jewish blackness was reinforced when they discovered some African Jewish people. And towards the end of the excerpt, and I will share the link to the full thing anyway, he said Jews are Negroes, and Negroes in some way are also Jews. So we have people who practice a religion, but we have some black people who try to claim to be original in this belief system. It amazes me. Now, I'm going to share the full thing. full lecture, if you will. And here it's called Tudor Power Fit. Look, Tudor Power Fit. Sharing his Wikipedia page. All right. He's a PhD. This I can close. In other news, this is a link from Complex. Grandmaster Jay has been sentenced to 7 years in prison for allegedly pointing his weapon at some federal agents. I don't hear the Pan Africans saying much, just like I don't hear the Pan African scholars dealing with this Kari controversy. Now, on some other note, a lot of you would not be aware or familiar. I'm sharing the link in the chat. I don't know if the full thing is going to work. Let me see in the chat. Yes, it does work. This gentleman right here is past 80 years old. I read that he was 82. And he is what we could label comedic. He lived in France for a big part of his life. He wrote books in France, encouraging people to no longer be in the Abrahamic belief system and to deal with the traditional African ways of life. And he decided to return to his to his country of Mali. Mali is like probably 99% Muslim. And there's a young man who made a video and he filmed himself stepping on the Quran. And this individual here spoke in the defense of the young man who committed what is considered a blasphemy. I'm not sure exactly what the young guy said, but the mere fact that you will step on the Quran will not make them happy. And it reminds me of this Pan Africans, this Pan African organization. Um, the lady who wrote a book about Kwanzaa, who used to be a professor at Temple University, that's her organization. And it's the guy who copied the format that we had for our meetings in France when we used to meet amongst non-Abrahamic people on a weekly basis. He copied the name of our group. He copied the same date of the meeting, which was on Sunday, the same time of the meeting, the same hour, and even the greetings when he would send emails. It's the same guy who gave a trophy to a serial rapist. Maybe he wasn't aware. And during our meeting, the guy talked about he wants to burn the Quran. I let the dude know that that's not the way to go. You know what I'm saying? Some people are trying to be extremists. Some people are trying to, they feel like, okay, if I do this, like it's like the shock value, but they don't think about the consequences. So This 80-year-old man is in prison now. He's in prison. I heard somebody say that he's left in the sun and he's not giving water. So many times you hear me say we need to be diplomatic. In Mali, mind you, this article was published November 2nd. It is recent because today is November 12th. It was published 10 days ago. I did not even know that in Mali they had a protest against Kemetic people. Now it says, according to several sources, a video published on social media and largely broadcasted is at the origin of some, let's say, outcry, for lack of better word. I'm translating in real time. So now there's a video circulating on social media where a disciple representing the Kemite, let's say, a movement which claims to practice the religious African values. Here, the young man is blaspheming against Islam and Christianism, saying that they are imported religions and that they will do everything to end with their ideologies. The hard part of the video is that the young man will go as far as stepping on the Quran that shouldn't have been done at all. And we pray the Lord to forgive this man. It's a condemnable act, and we are asking our brothers, no matter their religion, to show some restraint. Now, the Malian, or let's say ministry, the Malian Ministry of Religious Affairs, or the Ministry of Religious Affairs of Mali, of Cults and Custom, has condemned these statements against Islam. Statements are considered to be blasphemy or blaspheming. And there was a publication on Monday saying that that Ministry of Religious Affairs and Cult and Customs has learned via social media about the acts of this individual against Islam, which is a religion of the majority of people of Mali. And I don't want to read the whole thing, so I'm just scrolling a little bit. So the Justice of Mali is on the case. The prosecutor of the Republic has ordered that an investigation be open, and they're of course asked to identify and locate and arrest the suspect who is charged for acts that are punished according to Article 58 of the Penal Code, 55 and 56 of the law. You have the laws number and the laws from December 5th, 2019. As for the High Council or High Islamic Council of Mali, the act that was committed, including insulting the Prophet, insulting the Quran, insulting God in Islam, the sentence is to execute the one who is guilty. Friday, a protest is scheduled to denounce this injurious act against the symbols of Islam. And now we're going to deal with the 80-year-old Kemetic brother. However, in an audio recording published on social media, Dumbi Fakoli, that's the brother's name, Dumbi Fakoli Dumbia, but is mainly known as Dumbi Fakoli, as you see here. The president of the, I'm going to say it in French, Rassemblement pour la réhabilitation de la religion négro-africaine, uh, reassembling or gathering for the rehabilitation of the Negro African religion. Now, he is giving unconditional support to the man who was accused. And here's a citation, it's a quote. I am Dumbi Fakoli Dumbia. I am a writer. I am the author of the statements to Assimi Goïta and his ministers. Now, Assimi Goïta, he's the interim president of Mali. So he's saying that he's hiring the president of Mali and his ministers. Now, in English, you just say you have the singular you, the plural you. But in French, there's a form of respect, and you use a term which is kind of like a plural, but it's a form of respect. It's a bit difficult to explain because it doesn't exist in the English language. And normally, when you address a president, we just use that form of respect. And it's not just a president, as for a matter of fact. It could be somebody that you just don't know, you're not acquainted with. And children, you usually use that form of respect when they're addressing adults. If a child would just use that way towards an adult or a president, it just doesn't fly. But that's something that's particular to the French language. I've heard the audio, and it was actually stated in French, not in the language of Mali, because some people might say, well, actually, if he spoke the Bambara. But anyway, you said that you will prosecute one of our matriot. So I guess it's like a term deriving from Ma'at. It's like saying Ma'atriot, because he would have denigrated Islam. Oh, I advise you not to do it, because you will find us on your way. You pretend that the Mali is mainly Muslim. Do you have any proofs? You don't have any proof. You are speaking either under the influence of those imams and marabout. Marabout is like I don't want to say sorcerer, but it's like a voodoo priest. I don't think you use the term marabout in English. Let me see if they have an equivalent. What equivalent do they have for marabout? So that you can have a better idea. Oh, well, actually, it is used in the English language, but the marabout is often a scholar of the Quran or religious teacher. Others may be wondering, holy men who survive on alms, Sufi, and so on. Anyway, so he tells the interim president, you speak under the influence of these imams and marabout who don't know anything at all, who don't even know the Muslim religion, who don't even know its origins. If you follow them, it's because you do not know the origins of the Muslim religion. So if you don't be careful, you will declare a religious war, or you will declare a war of religions, because we are many that are not Muslims and will never be, and who don't want that Islam imposes itself at home or where we are. Sometimes it's a bit tricky to translate word for word. Basically saying we don't want that Islam uh, self-imposes, or takes over, if you will, for lack of better words, because it is not a religion. It is devaluing. I don't even know if devaluing is proper in English. It is insulting for our people. You will have to prosecute all of us because we are thinking exactly like this young man. I repeat it. I am Dumbi Fakoli Dumbia. I am a writer. I am therefore not anonymous. I am a dang. I'm going to look for translation of that word. What word do they give us in English for that word? Translation do they give us for that word? Okay, I am an infidel. That's the word they use. I am an infidel. I am therefore a kafra. Now, in South Africa, they were using that term. Gandhi used that term towards black people. It's a negative term. It comes from the Arabic kufar. This is actually the root for the French word for roach or cockroach. But anyway, I am an infidel and proud to be. If you are sure of yourselves, invite us to a debate. We will not let people, it's a bit difficult to translate that word for word, but um, it's like saying we'll not let people do us, or we'll not let people, not really mistreat us, but it's a bit difficult to translate this sentence here. Anyway, that's the end of the citation. So now this 80-year-old man is in custody, awaiting trial. Do you realize what he said to the president of a country that is 99% Muslim? I'm not saying he should rot in jail. Poor man is 80 years old. But sometimes you have to wonder what goes into people's mind. Now, at least this guy is not anonymous and identified. But once again, brothers and sisters, I've been saying it for a very long time. Beware of anonymous and unidentified individuals. This is a country that's like 99% Muslim. And you're going to tell the president of the country in a public publication that Islam is not a religion. Now, in other countries, they might have killed him by now. So, the young man stepping on the Quran, I don't know if he is from Mali. I've seen the footage of the guy stepping on the Quran, but they did not play the audio, and I don't know if he spoke in French or in Bambara or any other language spoken in Africa. For those who don't know, in Mali they are French speaking. A large part of people speak French, just like in Senegal, just like in many different West African countries, because French colonized several countries in Africa, just like Britain's colonized several countries in Africa. So if a guy does something like that, it doesn't help the movement. And showing support to that guy this way by being so confrontational, antagonizing, doesn't help at all. Worldwide, we are a minority. A lot of people don't even respect us. A lot of our people don't even respect us. So we have to be very careful. Sometimes people on my channel make certain statements, and I try to say, we should be diplomatic. The consequences can be severe. Now in America, freedom of speech, so many things you can say in America. You cannot even say in France, particularly regarding race. You cannot even say in France without having some legal trouble. We have to be careful with what we're saying. There's so few of us. We have, a few organizations here and there. Most of the community people don't even know the meta nature. They know like two, three words. Some people claim to be Kemetic, they're fence riders. It's kind of we're not established at all. We are not established at all. Now, if we get a land of our own in a country where we will be accepted, I guess we can be more comfortable. But still, making certain statements just not going to help at all. And now that 80-year-old man doesn't really get support like that. And plenty of Pan Africans know about him. But it's going to be difficult now to show him support. All right. So I've stated most of what I wanted to say. I'm going to wait a little bit to see some people want to get on the panel. I've shared the link as usual. For those who wonder, like it says in the chat, it's members only mode, which means that only members can participate in the chat, but everybody's free to hit that link and get on the panel. And I'm going to share the link again. So feel free. We have 14 people online right now. Feel free if you want to add on. We have 8 likes, 14 people watching. I've been flowing for less than an hour. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to get something to drink. And I'll be back. Feel free. And if nobody's there, we're going to call it a day. In the meantime, I will play. Oh, no. Oh, there's another 2 things I want to address. So I'll be back. I'm saying not everybody has to be Kemetic. It's a matter of choice.
Hey, I want to jump in right here.
Yeah, feel free, brother.
Okay, I want to jump in and just say something about you, Shaka, that I noticed, and I'm quite sure everybody else noticed it too. The way that they kind of bounce off of you. That's a good way to put it. Almost kind of shy away. Want to keep you quiet to a certain degree, especially after you told me about, well, not just me, all of us, of listening to you, how maybe they had you in the back, waiting for 40 minutes before you can make a comment, putting you off certain people's stages where they have their show, putting you off 2 and 3 times. I heard that said. That tells me something about an individual, and that'll make me take notice of them anyway and examine them to see what is it about them that they don't want to be bothered with. There's some stuff went on last night on Smash Show, and it's a dude called Waza. I'm quite sure they know him better than me, but Waza, he's kind of a comical fella, and but he got some smarts to him, but he don't know when to make his comment and then step back and wait, and just listen some for a while. He wants to get in there and just rough and tough it out and don't want to listen to somebody else. And I'm not saying you that way now, but I was just looking at Waza last night, and they had to put him in the back, or just put him off the show or whatever, because he just kept jumping in there too much, and people would be trying to talk, and he just interject and walk all on people, and just get in the conversation, and maybe even be talking about something else instead of what the subject was. But back to you, Shaka. Uh, you're similar to Waza to a certain degree, and I think we all have to have some aggressiveness to us. We have to be aggressive when the time is right. Don't get me wrong, but it's time. At certain times, we have to be humble, and we have to stand back and listen. And like I do, and I've always been that way. When you see somebody quiet, this is something I learned over the years. When you see them quiet, they either just out the loop completely, or they are a type of individual trying to see what's going on. And that's how I am. I do, and I can speak when the time is right, especially when I feel like it's necessary. And especially at my time and age now, I'm more the type to keep you in line, or maybe keep you directed right. And I think that's the elder's job. Of course, the elders should have more intelligent and just more knowledge on things than the youngsters coming up, because I used to have them tell me back in the day, man, where you going already? And I'm been there. I used to think about that until I figured it out. And these elders, they've been through stuff that you're getting ready to go through. And I don't know about all of the knowledge that you got, Shaka, but you ain't just talking to talk. You talking something that makes sense if it's talking about a subject or an individual that might be, like you say, buck dancing, or backing up, uh, trying to two-step or side-step, or however anybody that understands this want to see it. You'll bring it right out to light, and that's a good thing, especially when you uh, teaching the people wrong, and you're not bringing them the truth. All this, you know, dancing around in circles and stuff. You can't get a hold and a grip on things when you got people doing that. And when it's somebody doing that, you have to, you know, bring them to the forefront and say, you got to confront them. Hey, man, this is what you're doing right here. It's a little something that's right, because you were saying this the other day, and now you saying something a little different. What
really
yeah, what's really going on here? What's the real truth? And I just wanted to say Shaka is the one that'll, bring that to the forefront. And I think that's a good thing about you, brother.
mhm.
Okay. So the other thing I wanted to address is there's a sister who used to be a regular in the chat. I forgot if she called once. And I received your Cash App donation. And the sister actually wrote four, and then she put a URL to a YouTube video. So I first thought she liked one of my video. That's the reason why she decided to donate. And I was curious as to which video made her decide to make the donation. But actually, it was not my video. It was a video of a guy that I addressed a few times who is a known plagiarizer and a fraud, giving himself titles that he hasn't earned. And it links to a channel called Happy, because there's a Happy film documentary. It was supposed to have a conference in Egypt, and the conference was canceled because due to safety concerns, because a lot of people in Egypt were not happy about individuals claiming that the ancient Egyptians were black. So things were blown out of proportion, and they have decided to cancel the stuff. But the Happy Feet documentary has mainly scholars, I mean, people with titles, with credentials, PhDs, professors, uh, not exclusively, but a lot of them. And that guy has participated in that thing. So he was interviewed, and he's just saying the same thing about Kemet, this. So when people keep saying lies, then we have to keep repeating the truth. You never know who stumbles upon your video, whether you're live streaming or whether it's after the video is uploaded. So, by all means, for those who don't know, so the guys is being sleek again, regarding the meaning of Kemet, or Kem, actually, to be more precise. Once again, Smash Rockwell has done a great job over the last few months, the last 6 months or so, on this particular topic of the meaning of Kem. And in summary, we do have the Coptic, the latest phase or latest stage of the Medu Neter, and in Coptic it has the same meaning. But some people, we told you about magic Medu Neter. I don't want to call it a field, but it's a new trend. It's not Medu Neter, it's a magic Medu Neter. And they are desperate over a pamphlet or book that they have released with a claim inspired by someone who is not a linguist. And we don't heard it all. That Diop was inconsistent. That Diop didn't do the work. Diop didn't show his work. That Diop was irresponsible as a scholar. That Theophile Benga is wrong. That Richetti Amin is wrong. That James P. Allen is wrong. I mean, we don't heard so many things, man. We even heard the ancient Egyptians are not black. As a matter of fact, the guy wears the t-shirt that says black is not a race. Nowadays people say race is a social construct. So apparently, if a guy talks a certain way, dresses a certain way, lives in a particular area, and he is of Caucasian stock, then we can label him black. To each his own. But anyway, here we have James P. Allen's Middle Egyptian page 50, 533, 533. We have here Kemet, and it says Egypt, literally black land, and the black is the Kem, KM, and that's the root. This glyph here stands for Kem. Gardiner, page 57, Egyptian grammar. Kemet, the black land, and black is once again the Kem. James E. Arch, Middle Egyptian grammar, page 113, lesson 8. Kemet, Egypt, which literally is the black land, and black obviously is Kem. Same book, different page 291. We have Kemet, place name, Egypt, literally the black land. We have Gertie Ingood. I think it's like Germany type of name, so my pronunciation might be a little bit off, but we have figure 2, the black earth equals Egypt. And that's what stands for black. That's the I6 glyph, okay? Piece of charcoal or crocodile scale, depends on your persuasion. Then we have J.F. Burroughs, Egyptian, an introduction to the writing and language of the Middle Kingdom. Now, apparently, it might be volume 2 here. So we have Kemet here, Egypt, literally the black, and we have land in brackets. All right. We even have Kemi here, and it says black one, name given to a serpent, rare. So Kem here means black. Here We have Gustave Lefebvre, so it's a French Egyptologist. Grammaire de l'Égyptien classique means grammar of classical Egyptian. And where is the chem here? It's at the end here. But the I6 leaf there. Then we have the phonetic complement of the owl. And we have the lock of hair, which is used as a determinative for color or skin. So at the end, we have chem. And when we look at the translation, before chem, we have reri, R-R-I. And translation says cochon noir. Cochon is the word for pig or hog. And noir is the French for black. Here we have this book here. And for the record, all those books are recommended by James P. Allen. And James P. Allen is a renowned Egyptologist, world-renowned Egyptologist. Once again, all those books that I'm going through are recommended by James P. Allen. So here we have another book by two French Egyptologists, Pierre Grandet and Bernard Mathieu. And on page 261, lesson 23, here you can see chem. Before we have aped with the determinative here. Now, aped is the word for bird. Can be used for fowl as well. As a matter of fact, here the symbol that looks like a digit 3 is actually ayin. I'm sorry, aleph, and the aleph represents the sound a. So we have aped, and then chem. And here it says, in French the order is different. We say bird, literally bird black, oiseau noir. But in English you would say blackbird. So it says blackbird. And what is the word for black? It's chem. It's a bit sad, because some people have some claims and they try to stick to the land. We have other use of chem. Here, page 647. Here we have Memi chem. Now you know the owl. It's the sound M. We have the owl again. And the red leaf is the sound E. So that gives us Memi. Mind you, here, they've used the J. The J is the same as the letter I. It has a sound, the phonetic value E, the sound E. All right, so Memi and then chem. We all know the I6 leaf by now. And what do we have here? The determinative of a man. So it's talking about a person. And here says Memi, le noir, which means the black. I mean, those riparian ants are killed already. Their claims is just gone, Another one recommended by James P. Allen. It's a book by Michel Malaise and Jean Winon. And here you can see we have Kem Ur. And what is the translation? Grande Noire. Grande is the word for big. So it's like great black. All right. And we know what black is. What is translated as black, that is the chem. Once again, the I6 glyph is K. Transliteration is K and M. Next to it, we have the owl, which is a phonetic complement. We don't repeat it. The owl is a sound M as well. But anyway, now this was page 451. Then we have page 714, I6 glyph, and it says chem, and in parentheses we have chemet, the black, feminine form, designation of Egypt. Faulkner, page 286. We have chem here with the hairlock, determinative, and you can see it says black. Here we have Kemet, and it says the black land. Now this one is not recommended. Now now I went through the recommendations of James P. Allen. I'm using other books here. So this is Théophile Benga, the French version on the left and the English version on the right. So at the bottom is the French version that is quoted. Page 233, we have Kemet here. We have the hieroglyphic on the left. It doesn't really look like it too much, but this is the same I6 glyph that we've been dealing with. And here it says Kemet, and in Copt, or I'm sorry, in Coptic, we say Copt in French, in Coptic is Kemi. So this is Egypt, literally, the black country. In French, we say le pays noir or the country black, but of course, that's how you say the black country. All right. And here, once again, we have Kemet, Kemi, the black country. And it's given an analogy with Bilad es Sudan, which means the country of the blacks. Now here, there it is. The black of the eye is pronounced Kem. Just here. That's page 314. Now, that's French, of course, but you can get any French speakers to verify what I've said. Now we have this other Egyptologist, Dr. Claude Obzomer. The other lady is the person that made the translation. She did not contribute to the information, just made the translation. We have Kem, and you can see black, dark. And we have Kemet with 3 different spellings. And we can see that it says, okay, here we have Kemet. But we have Kem first with the hair lock or hair determinative, and it says black, dark. Then we have Antonio Loprieno, page 111. Now you can see we have Kem, KM at the end. And when you look at the translation, you have black pig. And once again, here we have Sha'i, this symbol here of the S. And people who are familiar with the Semitic languages know that this is pronounced sh. This is a sound sh, the phonetic value sh. So we have once again the aleph, which is a phonetic value a, and the j, which is the same as the I, is the sound e. So that's pronounced sha'i, sha'ikem. And here we have black pig. And once again, the author has written again sha'ikem. So you know what we're talking about. So sha'i is the word for pig, obviously, and then we have kem, that means black. It's not dealing with the land here. It has the same meaning. And here on page 131, we have some Coptic. And we have, but as for me, Anok, now I don't know that symbol here. I am Ang, black, Ukame. You can see that from the same root came, we have a word that derives from it in Coptic, Kame. And what is the translation? I am black. Now, on page 132, at the bottom, you can see, and again by the subject of the nominal sentence, Ang Ukame, I am black. Then this individual is actually a curator in the Louvre Museum. So Dr. Barbotin. This is the same book with 2 different book covers. So here at the bottom it says that he is a curator in the Egyptian antiquities at the Louvre Museum, and he is teaching the Egyptian epigraphy in the École du Louvre. And we have this stela here on page 141, and we will look at the translation. Now the Kem is here, the I6 leaf with the owl underneath. And in translation, page 140, it starts here. I will worship The black. Le noir means the black. And in parenthesis, let's just know that it's talking about Osir or Osiris. So Kem is translated as black or the black. Here, Gabor Toth, with the Egyptian grammar, page 23. Kemet, Egypt, literally the black. Now, those are not PhDs. Leslie and Rod Atkins, The Little Book of Egyptian Hieroglyphs, page 155. The Nile Valley where most Egyptians live was Kemet, and we have the Black Land. Let the ancestors speak. I don't think Ankh Mira was a PhD. Page 145. Here we have Enoch Menfit M. Kemet. I am a soldier of Kemet. Literally, I am a soldier of the Black Country. So Kemet is translated as Black Country there. And for those who don't know, on page 15 of the same book, Let the Ancestors Speak by Ankh Mira, we have Dr. Theophar Obenga, who wrote a message or forward, if you will. Okay, I'm done here. So I don't really understand why people will entertain individuals who are frauds, who are known plagiarizers, who plagiarize several authors, several books, several different languages, who gave themselves titles that they have not earned. Because on top of being a so-called anthropological linguist, he also, I'm sorry, anthropological linguist, he also claimed that he is a historian. Happy doesn't have a problem with plagiarizers. And Askak, to my surprise, is going to have him as a speaker. So Askak also doesn't have a problem with plagiarizers either. As for Temple University and the Open Institute, I haven't seen any footage of his presentation, so maybe they changed their mind. I don't know, who knows. But now pseudo is accepted, like in that's Pan Africans, man. Pan Africans don't seem to have much standards nowadays, but they are free to do whatever they want. You know what I'm saying? And scholarship, plagiarism doesn't fly. But nowadays, Pan Africans don't have much standards. On top of defending rapists and pedophiles, they even, because they like to make the distinction between people's action and their work. You have people in France who say, well, the guy's a pedophile, but you have to separate the man from his work. You know, and like I told you, brothers and sisters, we have some guy who's like a serial rapist, and he's the head of a black organization or Pan African organization. They don't have a problem with that. To each his own. But even when it comes to the scholarship, plagiarism is accepted now. So people can consider the work of scholars, PhDs, experts in the field, or they can take the word of some riparianites who is a fraud, a liar, a plagiarizer. I mean, to each his own. To each his own. At this point, I kind of heard it all. Kind of heard it all. People teach that Africans are living the jungle life, that Africans are not civilized, that black means death. I kind of heard it all now. At this point, I'm like, hey, what will surprise me? Well, what will surprise me is hearing the people that I quoted becoming pseudos, but those are scholars, so most likely they will not be pseudos. Some, Pan Africanism being pseudo is cool. Pseudo is the new Pan African. Oh, that's a good look. We have 10 likes. That's good. All right. So I think I've covered everything I wanted to address. I have a few tabs here, but I think that's about it. So, in summary, the Hebrew Israelites are really in survival mode. They're still sticking to this Deuteronomy 28 to try to claim that this is a prophecy for black people. I mean, it's just a shame. It's just a shame. Stay safe, stay healthy, and if I'm allowed to, by the nature, I will definitely holler back at you. I don't argue, I state facts. If you are not part of the solution, you are part of the problem. Hotep.
Now, for the record, for those who don't know, I'm giving middle nature classes. And here, that's the flyer. Okay? So, those who are interested, feel free to holler at me. If you're not interested, it's cool. But I recommend that everybody who has not yet seen the video, Kemet and Ma'at, before Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, then watch it. It has about 300,000 views and really deserves to have a lot more.
I just want to let everyone know who's listening in now and who's going to listen to this stream in the future. I just had my first Metanetia class by Brother Shaka today, and I've had other Metanetia lessons by other teachers, and I can tell you right now, the brother is the best in the game. He is that was one of the best classes I've ever had, ever. So if you're interested in learning the Metanetia, if you're interested in getting the basics of it, Brother Shaka is an awesome teacher. Get with him, and it's extremely affordable. This brother is giving us his time and his skills, and he's basically giving it away. I mean, I just consider it a donation. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody's interested in learning the Metanetia, get with this brother right here. He's an awesome, awesome, awesome teacher. And I'll end with that.
Hotep Senu, Hena Senut. This is Julie, also known as Servant of Yah, and I'm currently taking the Medunetia classes with Brother Shaka, and it has been an amazing experience. Only 2 lessons so far, and I feel like I've been taking the classes for months, just with the how in depth he goes into the vocabulary words, the construction of the language, the grammar. It's been immeasurable, the experience. And one thing that comes across, hands down, is his extreme passion for teaching this to anyone who is willing to learn and has an interest in learning. So I highly suggest, if you are interested, even a minimal interest, that you subscribe to the classes with Brother Shaka. It's such a nominal amount for how much you get. I know, like, our last class was over 2.5 hours. It felt like 2 minutes, but because that's how involved you are in what he's teaching and how he teaches and how compassionate he is about what he teaches. Also with sharing materials free of charge, no question, no doubt. It's just what he does. He doesn't have to, but he does. And so I just wanted to give a short testimonial about the class and the effectiveness of the class. And all of that is attested to how studied Brother Shaka is. So I highly recommend anyone with a minimal interest that you do sign up for the Medunetia class. Hotep.
Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, which is Ma'at Forever. Don't forget to watch the video entitled Kemet and Ma'at. Don't forget to share Kemet and Ma'at on my channel on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, or other social media that you use. Email, text messages, you name it. Those who wish to donate can do so on paypal.me/Ma'at Forever.